I was at church yesterday and the pastor was talking about courage. And he made this statement. It was a quote, and I'm trying to find the quote, but he quoted this guy, and the quote went something like this: beware of a good reputation, because a good reputation can make you averse to risk. And that stuck with me, and it rang very, very true, because a good reputation can absolutely destroy a business owner's prospects for growth. I actually love this kind of weather. Florida's an incredibly sunny place, but I don't mind rainy weather. It's kind of nice for a change. Now that might sound crazy, that a good reputation could destroy your prospects for growth, but it all has to do with this basic fear of failure. And when you have a good reputation, it can hold you back from really kind of stretching and doing something that may not work out so well. We've all heard about those like middle-level managers who always achieve a certain level of ROI on their projects, and that keeps them from really stretching and trying something new or innovative because they only go with the sure thing every single time. And yeah, sure and steady is nice, but in small business, sure and steady doesn't cut it. You're gonna have to take some risk. And if you have a great reputation for never failing, it can build inside of you this real fear of failure or just a fear of trying something different. Now, you may be one of those rare people who really doesn't care what other people think, or says they don't care what other people think. But my experience is this is not really about what other people think of you, it's about what you think of you. So coming to grips with this, that it's really not about other people, it's about you, and getting over your own concept of self and maybe expanding that a little bit, or being willing to give up your perfect track record is kind of where you have to start. It really doesn't have anything to do with other people. It has to do with how other people see you and how that's affecting how you see yourself. But that doesn't mean you're not going to have to deal with other people. Other people are always going to be part of the issue. So how do you really like turn the corner, and how do you keep from letting your reputation hold you back when it comes to taking risk? When it deals with teams, there are going to be two different types of people who, whatever decision you make, you're also going to have to deal with these two types of people who are going to potentially get in the way of whatever risk you're trying to take or change you're trying to make. And you have to separate the two, because most people lump them into one big group, but they're different. There's the people who are against change, and you're going to run into those a lot. And then there's a second group that's even worse, and those are the people who are against you changing. I dealt with this recently with a client. There was somebody on the team that just did not want this person to manage in a different way. Even though it was going to be better for them, it's going to be better for everybody else, but it was kind of like the devil you know is better than the one you don't. Like, they had learned how to handle this person. They had learned how to deal with kind of the temperamentalism and the great positive changes we were making to make this person a better manager were not welcome, because this person just didn't want their manager to change. It can happen with spouses. Spouses are terrified of change. It doesn't matter whether a spouse is a man or spouse is a woman. When it's the person closest to you and there's going to be some kind of change, spouses a lot of times will dig their claws in and say, I don't want this change. And it can happen with partners and owners. The same dynamic as spouses. Like the person that you're in business with that is your partner, if they're changing, even if it's for everybody's good, that change can be a little bit terrifying. The problem is that those relationships who don't want you to change are very toxic relationships. But there's a way around it. There's a way to deal with it. The way around it is just leverage that personal relationship you have with the person. Sit them down, have a heart-to-heart, explain what you're after, and then enlist their support. It's going to be so much easier if the two of you are working together. The people who will fight you the most on personal change, not just change in general, but the people who will fight you the most on personal change are always the people closest to you. And if you don't use the personal relationship that you have in order to help them get over the hump, then nothing else you do is going to work, because you're ignoring the single greatest component of that dynamic. The single greatest factor is your personal relationship. It's the thing that's causing them to not want you to change, and it's the one thing that you can actually use to help facilitate the change that's going to be great for both of you. So look yourself in the mirror and decide you're okay with giving up your great reputation. This is one of the areas of life where it is definitely not an either or proposition. It's not a scenario where you can either have a great reputation or you can go out and try this risky thing and be greatly successful. What happens is when you decide to give up that nice, safe, great reputation, all you're really doing is adding to it. You're becoming a richer, more dynamic, more experienced, wiser, better person. And if there are people in your life who have that kind of toxic sense of not wanting you to change for whatever reason, address the 800-pound gorilla in the room and use the personal relationship that's so valuable to you to help facilitate the change that's going to help everybody. See you guys tomorrow. It's cool, but holy cow, is it muggy.